Hey guys, it's Nikki. Welcome to Scratching the Dirt. This is the Carnivore vlog. Today is February 2nd. It's Monday, and today is day 164 for me on the carnivore diet. And I just want to check in. It's been a week. Last Monday was the last time I posted, and I am working on becoming more consistent with my posting because I took a 3-week hiatus. Life got crazy. January, y'all. January. What it is it about January that it's a struggle? But I was able to talk to you guys last week. We talked about the scale and the app and all of that. But this week I just want to pop in and share a little bit of a story, something that kind of happened with carnivore. That's something that maybe if you're doing carnivore or you're thinking about carnivore is gonna become something you'll have to think about. So this past weekend, my son, who is currently living out of state, came into Texas and grabbed his girlfriend, and they were coming down to where we live to visit. And I live in a small town. And so he was like, well, we're going to come pick a place to eat and, I'll take you guys to lunch. I was like, that's great. But the options in my small town for carnivore aren't great. Like there's a Mexican restaurant and there's, I guess a couple of just like overall restaurants, where you can go get a burger or you can get shrimp or you can get chicken or whatever. But I went through this thing when I was trying to figure out where we were going to go eat. I was like, maybe I could just, we could go to the Mexican restaurant. I could get fajitas and I could just eat the fajita beef. But then I think, how many orders of fajitas do I have to order in order to get enough beef, right? Because when you eat fajitas, you basically fill up on the tortillas and the beans and all of the other things. And I was like, oh, I don't, you know what? Maybe I'll just take a day off from carnivore. Maybe I'll just eat whatever. I'll eat the rice and beans and one tortilla. I literally like went through this in my head. And then I was like, it's not worth it, right? Like, do you know from past experience that veering off too far away from what you normally eat is going to make you feel sluggish? It might create bathroom issues. It will definitely make you feel when you're used to your energy being higher. And I was like, okay, it's not worth it. I'm not going to do it. And so what we decided to do was actually meet in the bigger town that's closer and go to a steakhouse. So we went to a steakhouse. So I was able to order a steak and it was delicious. And I just started thinking about how I had taken this. My son is coming to visit and I'm so excited to see him, and we're going to share a meal, and turned it into this big thing that I was overthinking. And I was like, at one point I was just going to derail myself for this social situation. And at another point, I finally went, no, I don't have to derail myself. I can just choose another location, right? I can, instead of boxing ourselves into what was here locally, we can just drive a little bit because it's worth it, because I get to see him and I get to see her, his girlfriend, and we get to spend that time together. The same thing also happened yesterday. So yesterday was what we call family day. It's a day where we all get together at my dad's house, me, my husband, and my boys and my dad all go to dad's house after church on Sunday. And I cook a lunch, and then we just hang out for a few hours. It's an opportunity for us to see each other because you've probably heard me say it before. My kids are in college. We're all busy. Otherwise, we may not see each other as much as we'd like to. So we make sure one day a month to have a family day, to have a meal together. So I couldn't figure out what to cook. It's so funny. I fed these children their whole lives, and I was able to come up with meals every day. But now all of a sudden, every time we have a family day, I have no idea what to cook. And so I just asked Dad. I was like, "You got any ideas?" And he came in clutch with hot dogs. He loves hot dogs. My husband loves hot dogs. The boys love hot dogs. Like, it was super easy. But I went, oh, okay, crap. Great. What am I going to eat? Because I don't like hot dogs. I don't eat hot dogs. It's just, I've never really, to be fair, I did eat them, I guess, when the boys were little, and that's all we had. But I don't like hot dogs at all. I actually recently bought some sausage that I thought was going to be sausage, and I took one bite, and it tasted like a hot dog. And I was like, Jose, guess what? You just got some sausage. It tastes like a hot dog. So no. But I, of course, was like, oh, making this big deal out of it. And then Jose just goes, just bring you something to cook. Just, you're cooking hot dogs. Just cook something for yourself. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. It doesn't have to be so dang hard. I think that there are situations where bringing your own food would be a little weird and it might make me feel uncomfortable. But this was family. This was at my dad's house. I was cooking in my dad's kitchen. And so I brought sausage and I cooked sausage and I brought my own cheese and I ate my sausage and cheese. And everything was fine. And nobody thought it was weird and it was fine. So I guess the whole point is that I think that we go through these moments where we think if we're going to be on such a strict elimination diet like a carnivore, that means we have to kind of plan our lives around that, and it has to affect everything. And maybe it does, right? Like, I did plan to go to another town. I did plan to bring food to cook for myself. But how hard was it? It wasn't hard at all. I just want to kind of recognize the growth that I've experienced, because a few months ago, I would have really spun about this, and I would have been like, oh, I'll just eat before, I'll just cook for myself, and then I just won't eat when everyone else is eating, and I won't enjoy the meal as much. And so as I ramble, I think my point is that just, you can still live your life. Carnivore doesn't have to be this thing that controls your social interactions. It doesn't have to control all of your meals in the way that you may think it does. Just, make adjustments. I've had a time where we had a family dinner and we went to a restaurant and I wanted a steak. The steak was really expensive. And so I just got a double meat burger and just ate the burger and cheese. And I was able to take part in the meal and be present and not be worried about all of the, food junk. And it really can be that simple. Just one meal that isn't perfect or isn't exactly what you would have done for yourself is not the end of the world, because I had the opportunity to sit with my husband and my son and his girlfriend and just enjoy a meal and enjoy a long conversation. And that means way more to me than whether or not I ate perfect that day. And so I just wanted to talk about that. I feel partially proud of myself because I didn't turn it into such a big thing. I feel partially grateful to Jose for reminding me that it's possible to do these things when I was trying to figure all this out. And he was like, we could just go to a steakhouse in town. I was like, okay, let me see if that works. So again, the point is that you can still be disciplined. You can still be on carnivore. You can still make the choices that are better for you, because for me, it's not worth it to make the choice to just go off for a day and then feel the consequences of that the next day. But you can make it work. I can't really think of a lot of places where you absolutely cannot make it work. And so that's kind of the point of today, is that carnivore is a big part of my life now because of the way I choose my foods, and our foods are a big part of our life. But it doesn't have to be the defining factor of every interaction and every situation in my life. I can always find a workaround. And if it's important enough to you and you get enough benefits like I've gotten from carnivore, then you'll make it work. And it doesn't have to be such a big stinking deal. So this is partially, don't let carnivore dictate your life, but also carnivore doesn't, like, don't make it a bigger thing than it is, because it doesn't have to dictate anything other than what you put into your mouth. And at the end of the day, you can always find meat in a restaurant. What you can't always find is time with your child who lives out of state. And so that's it for me today. I promised myself I would post once a week. It's been a week. And so even though I am scattered, and I know I'm scattered, I did it. Here I am telling you about this. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to go. I am going to go to work, which is probably why I'm scattered right now, because I'm already thinking about work. But I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'm going to definitely see you in a week. I am working with intention and discipline to make sure that I post at least once a week. Maybe I'll see you before then. I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. But thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon.